Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Dr. Shalei, we are so happy to have you here with us, and we are greeting our studio, our audiences on right now, Facebook, and we are on Facebook I forgot where we are on Facebook, but we are on Facebook in one of our business sections here, and
Okay.
we are live on YouTube, and I believe we have some audience here on YouTube. But we want to welcome our studio audience, and we want to welcome them here to talk about a very powerful topic that's dear to my heart, and I know it's dear to your heart. And
Yes.
earlier, Dr. Shalay, you did mention that, what might be just normal to you, you would be surprised that so many people, you were shocked that so many people did not see it as normal. And it's because we come from different perspective. You have lived in the field of management for many, many years. And yes, anybody that's doing anything more than 10,000 hours becomes like breathing air. And we forget that there are others who have not done 10,000 hours.
Yes.
Well, our audience, we want to welcome you to our topic today. We are talking about preparing and managing for growth, business for growth. Okay. So we want to manage our business for growth. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me first. Okay. I'm Winnie Benjamin, and I am the founder of Stewardship Masters International, which is a white labeling company. We come in under the arm of any company to increase capacity. So we function in the operational aspect of the business to in the three main areas, the human, the talent. We are talking about the strategy on product or services, and we also want to make the financial and technical department working harmoniously. Marketing, all of the arms of operation in business need to sync. And so my company, our affiliates, my team, that's what we do. We come in under your company. So we are white labeling. So when we come in, we're not coming in, that is just us, under our name, we are going to be the name of your company. So that's enough about Winnie. And so what I want to do is talk to you a little bit about Dr. Shalei Simms. And she is a skilled professional with 15 plus years of experience in management, education. She is a social scientist by training. She uses her expertise in identifying she uses her expertise in identity and decision making to inform factors that can influence strategic decisions. As a member of the management faculty of SUNY Westbury, Dr. Simms focuses her efforts on providing access to a high level management education that will be amplified to serve communities that may otherwise go unreached.
Yeah.
Dr. Simms' passion for education is evident in entrepreneurship work. She is committed to using her academic research to positively impact business owners by focusing on the psychosocial factors that may be influencing her decision making. She uses a systems thinking approach to help them quiet their active minds and create efficiencies in their businesses. She has used this approach to coach current and potential entrepreneurs. Dr. Simms, welcome. Welcome to our fireside chat at SMI.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's indeed a pleasure. I had the great opportunity when we had a complete business workshop a couple of years back
Yes.
at SUNY Westbury, and you were so uh, awesome in the way you organized and you managed those
Thank you.
2 days of activities. I already saw your skills
It
from
was a
that
great
day.
event. It was definitely, we partnered with LIAC.
Yes,
You were wonderful. Sharon Edwards was fantastic to work with. And we had a great turnout.
we sure
And
did.
hopefully we'll be able to do something similar again.
Oh, I'm wishing for that and wishing for that. So, management, I would say these are things that mean an awful lot to me because when you as a business owner slash an entrepreneur go into business, it may be for a couple of reasons. Some go in to make it their own job instead of working for somebody. They create a job via a business, and they're happy to make 75, 100,000, 120,000, 250,000 just for themselves, solopreneur. God bless them. Nothing wrong with that,
Mhm.
right? So should still get coaching to manage that money
Right.
effectively. Then there are others who go into business with the primary, not really, well, primary making money, and making money meaning that I want to use this money as leverage to purchase property, to invest in those beautiful stocks, those tech stocks that are hitting heavy today,
Yes.
So that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Then there are others who have that social spirit like you do, that start a business to really make a change, to impact by having employees, and having those employees actually understand values and behaviors in such a way that they can transform their homes and their community, and then leave a legacy for generations to take over and to
Absolutely.
grow and to impact the world. So there could be so many reasons why our people will actually go into business. So now the question that I have, I'm going to tell you, for example, from my perspective, why this is important, right? I go into business to make a global impact. That's why it's Stewardship Masters International. So I would want to know how would, and I'm sure many businesses like myself know that once you go national and go international, you're over $100 million in revenue, which is a different animal than doing $10 million in revenue, right? Anything over $100 million in revenue on a national or international front carries a different animal of management, the whole 9 yards. But
Yeah.
it doesn't start there. It starts all the way from the onset.
Yeah.
So our little chat today is going to talk to us about, this is what I want you to do. Tell us, what are the steps for those entrepreneurs who would like to make a social impact? That means the business must be sustainable and it has to be transferable, right? So there
Right.
are techniques that those in management should understand from the onset. If they're trained well, hired well, trained well, what is it that they need to know, including the business owners first? They have to start there before the managers, right? What do they need to know, or what steps can you share with us today that they
Sure.
need to think about in order to prepare for such a height?
Okay. So just to start from understanding my perspective, right?
Right.
As you talked about my bio, I
Mhm.
really am about the decision-making part of how you're organizing your business, right? So
Mhm.
this is not to say a step-by-step checklist of what to do per se, but really what you should be thinking about in
Wonderful.
very specific terms, right?
Mhm.
And so the first thing is that you should be thinking about what your actual strategy is going to be, what your business logic is. I
Mhm.
think that's important because you need to really assess in very basic terms, why am I growing, right? Am I
Mhm.
growing because my product has reached its max here, but I think it could serve another market? Am I growing because I see some opportunities in some other areas and I want to go in those areas? I think those areas will align with what we're currently doing as a business. And so, from a very basic perspective, you have decided that you are clear about why you want to grow, because that
Mhm.
why will then dictate the what.
Mhm. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Oh my gosh. This is lighting up so great. The big why. Starting with why. Remember our great Simon Sinek has always say in his book, start with why. If
Start
you
with
are
why.
not clear on your
Yeah.
why, all hell will forever break loose.
Yes.
Sleepless nights, stressful nights,
Right.
hating the employees. Start with why.
Yeah,
And I
because
know,
there's so many little decisions that you have to make along
mm,
the way
wow.
that it's very easy to lose track of
Yes.
what's the consistency in all of the
Yes.
decisions,
Mm-hmm.
where is the link between one decision and the next, and then what is keeping you on track, because you will get tired, you will
Mm-hmm.
get decision fatigue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many issues that you will have to deal with. And so you have to be able to check back and say, well, this is my approach. This is why I'm doing this. And that will ground you in your ability to continue.
Oh, this is so powerful. We can close the meeting now because it is just, you have hit the main core points that we and our audience need to go and eat on this for a minute, okay? Because
Yes.
that was loaded. It didn't even have any pieces of things that we need to throw on the side. It was all
Yeah.
consumable.
Because the thing about it is, right, when you look at competitive environments, they move so quickly
Yes.
that it's very easy to be, it's like an attractive person. You're
Yes.
looking this way and that way, and everything looks like a good idea to you, and you
Yes.
get caught up in something that wastes your resources, wastes your direction, and then you are worse off than you were had you not engaged in a growth strategy to begin with. And so you want to be clear about at least why you're doing it.
Dr. Shalei, you are hitting it bing on. Hey, my audience, let me tell you something. This is not the end. This is just a fireside chat. And I'm hoping you are writing notes because the next thing that we're setting up for is the webinar where she will take a deeper dive in these heavy meat that she's throwing out. So you're going to stay posted, okay? The next step off of from this program will be a webinar. All
Yes.
right. And after that webinar, hands on. Remember, she is skilled in academia education in high management. Okay. So don't you miss any of what's going on because she's dropping some nuggets right now. Now, let's talk about that distraction left because as business owners, I am the first one to raise my hand that one day I had to get a hold of myself and said, reset.
Yes.
We have social media, we have Google, we have everybody hitting us in emails and everything, and it looks shiny objects. This looks better, and God helps us.
Yeah.
Where one person is going to tell you this person that you're dealing with was teaching you wrong in the first place. Okay. Yes, I listened to so and so, but they told me this. Now you're telling me, no, don't listen to them. What they're doing is, and all of this distraction slowing you down because we find ourselves listening to too many voices and it caused that distraction.
Yep.
So what I'm understanding is just like the horses, put the blinders on. We're going on a race. The reason the blinders are on the horse is because it needs to pick up speed and not look in the peripheral of who's coming that can trip us up. Tell me more about that.
So your why is your blinder, right? Because the why is the blinder. That is the thing that keeps you on focus. So for example, if you have decided that you've got this great product, it's doing really well in the market, you've narrowed your market. And so that was almost, at this point, that's almost like a test for you.
Right.
If that is telling you, okay, I want to grow this business in this way because I think there's a larger market that can access this product, right? They're going to love it. And so that keeps your blinders on, right? Because it keeps you. Now, if there's something else that may be a similar business, that's not for you right now because your why is you want to get this product in more hands.
Exactly.
And so you've narrowed your focus in terms of how do you discern the information that you need to help you address that why. What kind of things do you need to do to increase your market size? Who do you need to access? How do you engage in a marketing strategy to do that? Have you done your research to know, at least be more comfortable in knowing that you go someplace else and this product is going to be attractive there as it is here, right? Like when I talk in class, I use food because I'm a foodie, right? How do you know that your burger with ketchup is going to hit in the South in the way it does in the North? How do you know that people don't like mayonnaise with their French fries as opposed to ketchup? Have you done your research to know this, right? Because that will help you decide where you're going to go. Because you already know why you're going. You're going because this product can be attractive elsewhere. Now you've done your research to say, what is that elsewhere? What are the avenues? What are the markets that I can tap into where I can just move this product over into that market, right? And so the distractions are always going to be there because you're an entrepreneur, right? You're looking for
Yes.
the way to take advantage of opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
By the same token, you want to be clear about what's a good opportunity and not what's not a good opportunity for you, because you need alignment, right? You need alignment in the things that you do, the processes you already have in place, the people you already have access to. Where is the alignment so that you can grow successfully and not just grow for growing's sake?
Wonderful. Oh my gosh, we got to take some more of this one. But I first want to welcome Mr. Setting 007. Welcome. Thank you. He says this is
Welcome.
a great forum. Thank you. Thank you. And Miss Stella Yamoy. Oh, that happens to be our manager, our brand new manager. So she's here. She says, go, ladies. I'm enjoying the chat. Thank you, Stella. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. And again, you all can chip in. As you can see, we are able to see the chats live. So we will respond to them at an appropriate break in the conversation. So thank you so much for coming. Now, when we're talking about distraction, what do you think? Let me put it this way. There is a tool known as objective goal strategies and measures that every leader, every department should have in project management. I find that if I create an agenda for my lifestyle from the moment I wake up to include my personal and my business objectives and goals and tasks from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed, and it's all orchestrated for me, this is what happens because I'm a generous person. I love, once you tell me business, I'm all in your soup to help you. I get sucked into this, right? And I would leave my objectives with deadlines and jump in here to help you. I finally figured out what was causing that. I had a lot of it in my head and I didn't have it in front of me with the discipline. Check, next step. So I am doing this. Is the mindfulness clause that I had to inject, whereby what's the next? And what you started by saying that why, it is so all over the front page. And in that front page, once that why is, it helps me to remember, if it's nothing else but one discipline, what is my next step? What is, it's now, let's say the time is now 4:18. Okay. If this is scheduled to end at a certain time, what's going in my head is, what is the next step? Right. And by so doing, it prevents me from wondering. It prevents me from saying, oh, yes, I'm going to do this. I'll be there to help you. It has shut that down. And that big no became so, therapeutic when you just say no. So what do you say about that? That you think that's a good methodology to stay that focused?
Yes. Right. I mean, I think the discipline is important. So however you access the discipline is good, right? If you write it down, you're more likely to do it. It's with all goal setting. It's what you do with your team. You know, if you measure what success is, it will get rewarded. And so it will get done again. And so those things are important, right? I'll go the other side though, right? Connecting back to the why. My first class of every semester, I have students write down their ideal day. And they have to account for every hour of all 24 hours in the day.
Wow.
And what they find is that, and this is when I teach the entrepreneurship class, and what they find is that your ideal day is a chill day. It's not a work day, right? But that tells you something, because there are some people who, philanthropy is in their day, service is in their day. connecting with others is in their day.
Mm-hmm.
That will dictate the energy you will have to do the things that need to get done as an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not even part of your makeup, there's going to be some difficulties that you're going to have. If you still
Mm-hmm.
want to be an entrepreneur, you have to access and deal with those difficulties. That's not
Mm-hmm.
to say you can't do it,
Right.
but like you said, when you wrote down everything that you had to do and you had to account for all of your time, it
Right.
was easier for you to say no
That's it.
because you knew what you were actually saying yes to something else. You're not
Oh, yes.
really saying no. You're
Yes.
saying yes to something that needs to
Yes.
be done. And
Right.
so that's a tool that works for you. For
Yes.
some people, it is that the thinking process
Mm-hmm.
needs to be out there and
Yes.
unfettered and undisciplined,
Yes.
unbridled, so
Wow.
that they put another process in place to narrow it down to get the work done. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your need for the discipline is, you have to address it. There
Love.
is no question that discipline needs to be in there because you
Yes.
will have to do things you do not want to do, or you
Yes.
will not be able to move on to the next step.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
those things are important. You have to
Yes.
figure out how to address them and how to be organized in how you address them so that
Mm-hmm.
you can get the things you need to get done.
Powerful, powerful. You hit it so right on the head. That brings me right into the topic where, oh, I wouldn't say the topic, but it's the concept of really knowing personality types. For example, I'm a high I intuitor. And the next one's closer. I'm at a 36 out of the high score of 40. They're 4 points apart if we're doing the OMI psychometric assessment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 25 being the medium. All the other three, which is the thinking skills, the sensor skill, and the feeling skills, are between 21 and 22, way under 25. And I'm at 36. So it means that my strength is in thinking. When I say thinking, design work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a solution, or I can come up with solutions in microseconds.
Yep.
That's my strength. The execution is never my strength. And that's what you're saying, that the person wants that free. I'm the one that wants that free range,
Yep.
unfettered opportunity to just come up with concepts. But I need to have a team. That's the T in the thinkers. They are not that wide in, they are very systematic.
Yep.
Step one, step two, step three. I need a number of them on my team because as fast as I'm barking out creative ideas, they have to be able to catch it and
Yes.
wind it down so it makes sense for the rest of the team. So in management, how important is that to a manager to be aware of how they manage? How would their personality type impact that type of performance in how they manage? Should they be managing their team or leading their team? Should they manage people or should they manage the project? That seems to be very confusing for a number of individuals who moved into that position without real vetting
Yeah.
or training.
So there's two parts of what you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we go back to the why, you
Mm-hmm.
have your strategy in place, you have the outcomes that you are looking for.
Yeah.
As a company, you've put together your KPIs, you know the
Mm-hmm.
kinds of things you need to measure, and you're in the business of measuring them, make sure things get done, right?
Yes.
If you have a good incentive system in place, some of those things will work themselves out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you've been clear about the types of behaviors you want to incentivize
Right.
because they lead to the outcomes, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then are the right incentives in place to
Mm-hmm.
get to those outcomes, right? So
Mm-hmm.
some of that, and we can talk more about that in detail.
Right.
Some of that's the system part, right? The
Yes.
system has handled that part. The
Exactly.
other part is the difference between managing people and managing projects, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have to do both,
Yes.
right? But there's something else that you need to do, and that's manage yourself, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that goes back to what you're saying about understanding your personality type,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to know what are some things that trigger you, what are some things that shape your thinking about things, because then you know, are you reacting to somebody's
Yes.
difference in behavior because of what's going on with you, or because
Yes.
of what's going on with them, right?
Yes.
If it's
Yes.
going on with you, that's some self-assessment you have to need. And if you don't do the
Exactly.
self-assessment, you're not going to be a good manager.
Yes.
Once
Yes.
you've decided that it's not about you, it really is about what's at hand right now, then you
Hmm.
can address that
Yeah.
directly. Does
Yeah.
somebody need some mentoring? Does
Hmm.
somebody need coaching? Is
Hmm.
there some penalty that needs to be put in place? You
Right.
can decide that because you've taken your personal self out of the equation, and you can
Yeah.
better discern what actions need to take place in
Hmm.
order to get the outcome that you want.
That's deep. That's deep. That's deep.
Well,
We're
because it's
coming.
hard. It is very
Exactly.
hard to know when you're taking something personally, and
Yes.
you should not.
Yes, 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 yes. That is so true. I now see who Mr. Setting is, and that happens to be Mr. Steven. Very good. Emily Biz, great, great manager, business leader. You need Nairi on your team, Winnie. Yes, yes, yes. She's a thinker, she's a process person. Absolutely. Well, we are coming down to a few minutes. We did promise everyone we are 30 minutes still here. And Dr. Shalei Simms is doing a phenomenal job. What can the audience tell us here? Let me see in the chat. Come on, give us some rating. Top level 5, all star 5. 1, 2, 3. Is this information fantastic? Let's hear it in the comment. Type it in the comments, okay? I don't know if anyone has any questions here, but what you've just shared, Dr. Sims, you said it was a two-part thing that I've said, and I think you've covered that. So the area of managing project versus leading the team, with your experience, have you seen where people quit? Managers, they don't quit the company, they leave a company because of the behavior of the managers.
Yes, because your experience is only your immediate experience, right?
Right.
What are you doing? How are you growing? How are people dealing with you? How are you getting paid? What other ways are they incentivizing your behavior? And
Mm-hmm.
are you enjoying that experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is what your relationship is with your team and with
Yes.
your direct
Yes.
manager.
Yes.
Um, and people will leave, especially now. The hunt for talent right now
Mm-hmm.
is unlike it's been in recent history.
Mm-hmm.
And they would rather sit and do nothing
Mm-hmm.
than work
Mm-hmm.
in a toxic situation.
Wow.
And you have to check, are you the source of the toxicity, right?
Mm.
Are you the one who takes credit for other people's work,
Mm-hmm.
who does not allow opportunities for learning and growth,
Mm-hmm.
who is who likes to penalize
Mm.
as opposed to promote,
Mm-hmm.
who is a bully,
My
right?
God.
We have instances of workplace bullying that
Mm-hmm.
is tolerated because the systems don't make it
Mm-hmm.
difficult to tolerate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so people are not going for it anymore. And
Exactly.
as a manager, you have to know that. And as
Exactly.
a lead, a CEO, a founder, you have to know the times are different. People are not just going for it because you think they need a job. They don't need a job. They will
Mm-hmm.
eat spam and chill before they work someplace that is not um, benefiting the whole self.
That's powerful. That's powerful. So as we count down to our closure, what would you want to recap in steps that the audience need to walk away with about preparing and managing their business for growth? Can you just summarize what you would like them to take away?
Sure.
Mhm.
The things that at the most general level are important are understanding your why, how that why is going to help you develop your growth strategy, understanding how the role people play in that growth strategy, and
Mhm.
how you need to have an organized approach to how you think about this so that you
Mhm.
can get the things you need to get done
Mhm.
done.
Mhm. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Audience, did you hear that? Oh, welcome, Pat. Pat just chimed in. She says, great nuggets. She is a great manager for uh, Sovereign Staffing Solution, which basically is an outfit for nurse managers. And so she knows very well, and that has been her focus, is the nurse managers, because we know the crisis in
Yes.
shortage of nursing. But if the managers are jacked up, not trained, it's been a problem. So she has to deal with pairing managers with nurses. So she said some leaders are now understanding what it means to put your people first. Stella says building trust among our team is the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Stephen, Mr. Setting says correct. I'm sorry,
Bless
guys.
you.
He says correct. Who are you exposed to and interact with? Plays a
Yeah.
great point. And so we just want to thank our studio audiences here for their comments, their responses, for the thumbs up. And right now, we, of course, we want to learn so much more. So we're going to have Dr. Shalei at the next session when we are going to be announcing our webinar series. We're going to have a webinar to introduce a deeper dive in
Yeah.
specific modules. And then from that, if on a closer knit, for those who are really serious in wanting to get this so that you can grow your business quickly with effective managers who knows how to inspire their team, putting them in the right seat with the right talent in the right seat so that your
Right.
business can be sustainable and grow quickly. That's going to be exercise module. Of course, they won't be free, but they're not going to break the bank either.
Right.
Okay. So we just want to let you know that that's coming. I want to thank each of you for your comments. All the future ones who will be listening to this fireside chat, we want to thank you for listening and taking action, taking notes. And most of all, not last, not least, thank Dr. Shalei Simms for being here as an experienced management consultant. As you can clearly see, she knows her stuff. Okay.
My pleasure.
So thank you so much. And it is great having you and the entire team. Bye for
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
now.